So project management can be defined as creating a structure in a complex project, taking into account the 4 variables of time, cost, resources, and human behavior. Now, traditional project management trainings focus on those first 3 components. They show you work breakdown structures and Gantt charts. They show you how to level out a line and create float in your project. But many of them, if not all of them, lose focus on that 4th component, that one of human behavior. And I'd argue that that element of human behavior is the most important part of project management. So one of the things that we talk about at COEUS and is the underpinning of everything that we do is behavioral intelligence. And you may ask yourself, in project management, what does behavioral intelligence, what role does it play? But in order to be a good project manager, you have to be a good people manager. And behavioral intelligence gives you the edge to manage your projects more effectively. By applying the 4 parts of behavioral intelligence in the project management context, you'll be able to see why strong behavioral intelligence skills will allow you to navigate the project planning and project management process better. The first tenet of behavioral intelligence is explain. Most projects, if not all projects, involve teams. We call them cross-functional multidisciplinary teams. That's the term that they like to use. But what that basically means is that you have lots of teams of people who focus on individual components of your project. Being able to explain the behaviors of those individuals and those teams and the way in which they function allows you to plan your project better. You can then predict how they are going to act on your specific project. Also, being able to explain the way in which your stakeholders act allows you to do a better job of predicting what they want the deliverable that you give at the end to look like. You may have stakeholders that say X and mean Y, and you've seen this happen in the past. By explaining that behavior, you'll know what to predict in the future. And that flows into the second part, which is predict. You need to be able, in a project management context, to predict what is going to happen to make an accurate plan. Project management is 90% planning and 10% execution, and without that prediction piece, you do not have the ability to plan. You can predict the actions of the team that work on your project. You can predict the amount of time that it's going to take to get the resources in which you need to complete your project. And finally, the whole point is to predict what that deliverable looks like at the end of the process. So we've talked about explain and predict, but that leads into the next section of the behavioral intelligence model, which is influence. This is the control portion of the project in terms of this is where you influence the way in which the project goes. You take that explanation of past behaviors, you take those predictions of what you think will happen, and you use that to plan the project and execute the project. You may pick specific team members that you know work well together. You may pick time, knowing that certain teams work better under pressure and therefore give them short amounts of time to complete their portion, or teams that need lots of time because they need collaboration. You can build that into your project management plan so that the deliverable that you produce is the best quality that you can, and that it's done on time with the less waste and less cost, which is the ultimate point of the project management process. The final aspect is control, and we talk about control even traditionally in project management, but we talk about it in terms of controlling costs and controlling waste. But control in behavioral intelligence is more about controlling yourself. A good project manager needs to be a good manager first. You need to be able to control the way in which you communicate your expectations and your aspirations to your team. Things aren't going to go right. Resources are going to be scarce, costs are going to be overrun, schedules are going to run late. But the way in which you can control your behavior as a project manager has a distinct impact on the success of your project. So regardless of whether you think of the project management process as solely being your deliverable, you have aspects of stakeholders, you have aspects of customers, you have aspects of teammates, and that good behavioral intelligence skills allows you to navigate this process with ease and create a deliverable that you'll be proud to show your company.